Hey,
Hello,
hey,
everybody.
everyone. Jason
Hey, go
Potash.
ahead.
I'm here with Allyn Cutts. Allyn, you there?
Yep, I'm here if everybody can hear me. Let me answer one of the questions right off the bat. Is this live? Yes, we are live. This is Allyn Cutts. I'm in here from Allentown, Pennsylvania. We got Jason up in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, outside of Toronto. Yes, indeed.
Yep. So we are live. Want to welcome everybody to the call. This is some really cool stuff. I've known Jason, now for um, I want to say 15 plus years. I mean, from big seminar days,
Yeah,
a long time ago. So, and if you want somebody, the go-to guy for traffic, free traffic, Jason has always been your guy, whether it's back in the older days when he was doing all the article stuff and all that stuff to now with what he's working on now. He's the go-to guy with these instant ranking pages and stuff like that. So, stay tuned. I'm going to turn it over to you, Jason, and just, kind of get going. Everybody seems like everybody's here, so we're good to go.
yeah. Thank you, Allyn. Appreciate that. You see, Roger's here, Thomas, Lydia, R.A., Renee, Teresa, Rebecca, lots of folks. Great to see you guys participating. Just give me a one if you can see my screen. You should be able to see the IRPH instant ranking placeholder screen. Just give me a one to make sure that we got the video in check. And obviously you can hear my voice, and we should be good to go. So as you can see, today we're talking about something called IRPH, and the sub kind of headline is the 100% safe 60-second secret that gets you ranked on Google and YouTube page one in 5 minutes or less. And you see little asterisks there, and usually you see an asterisk and it's some kind of fine print, right? Some kind of a hidden little small message that I want you to see. Well, in this case, what it means is before you build anything or spend any time or money. So I'm really excited to show you this stuff because once I got onto this, it really changed the way I focus on getting free traffic because we're really getting results in advance and we're really dipping our toe in the water and seeing if we can get ranked on page one of Google and YouTube before we spend any time, before we spend any money, before you outsource anything, get content done, right? So it really just kind of levels the playing field in terms of making it a zero risk system where you will rank. Otherwise, you just don't do anything. You just kind of move on. And I'll show you exactly how we do that. I'm going to give you some specific examples, and we'll walk through the process because I want you to walk away having that blueprint in your hands. And the cool thing is, every time I do this workshop, a handful of people contact me either during the web class or afterwards and say, holy crap, Jason, I tried the system, the RPH system, and I had success and I ranked for these terms. It always happens, and I know it's going to happen here as well during this web class. So I see a bunch of you putting ones in the chat box. That's awesome. Allyn is kind of standing by. I'm standing by. Of course, I can't see the chat window as I'm presenting because this is a live web class. So save your questions to the end, write them down, put them in Notepad or whatever. I promise you we will have time for Q&A at the end. We'll circle back and answer all your questions and stay here as long as I can, okay? So before we begin here, kind of a weird question. Has anybody here ever been punched in the face? You don't have to, admit in the chat window, but I personally have never been punched in the face. However, I'm pretty sure I know what it feels like because I did get the old smackdown by Google going back to late 2012. And I'm not making this into a gloom and doom story. I'm not going to spend 10 minutes talking about how my life was horrible. The bottom line is that why I'm talking to you here today is because unfortunately, Google thought I was doing a few things that they didn't approve, and a bunch of my sites went rolling down the hill in terms of rankings, and my traffic dried up by about 50%. So half my traffic gone overnight. Woke up, I couldn't believe the stats. I thought something was wrong, hitting the refresh button, and after 2 or 3 days, I realized this happened. This was my life, getting smacked by Google. So as I was kind of getting things put back together, I was thinking to myself, should I just build more sites? Should I buy more domain names? Should I just go and do this thing again? Or should I just really not really do anything with Google, being gun shy after getting the smackdown, right? Looking at Facebook, looking at Bing, other types of options, Instagram, what have you. And lo and behold, started going through a lot of my old stats and what was working in the past and started testing a lot of things. And when I started to test things, I ended up actually promoting a product by a mutual friend of ours, Andy Jenkins. Alan's known him for years, and so have I. He's the creator of Webinar Jam. And I said, Andy, I'm going to promote Webinar Jam, and I want to show you some cool things that I'm doing to promote Webinar Jam. And when I showed him what I was doing, he literally said, dude, you're ranking A. And then he went off the rails and said, you got to show people how to do this stuff. This is like insane. You need to show people this process you were using. That was back like 2 years ago in June 2015, more than 2 years ago. And that same process I used back then, it works today. It works equally as well. There's been a few changes I've made to it. We're going to go through the process today, but this is stuff that has survived the past 2 years. And the cool thing is we're doing nothing that is against Google's or YouTube's terms of service. Okay. And as you'll understand during the web class, we're actually doing things that Google approves of and YouTube approves of, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to worry about anything blowing up in your face 2 months down the road. So yes, obviously I love Google. And as you probably know, there's always some new Google update. It's panda, possum, pigeon, penguin, whatever other furry critter that Google decides to label the newest Google algorithm update. And most people kind of freak out and go, oh my gosh, my sites are falling and my traffic's gone. Honestly, I don't care about these updates because once again, we are partnering with Google rather than trying to strong arm Google, right? And this will make sense over the next few minutes. So a little bit of an icebreaker before we get started from our buddy Will Farrell. Will says, if someone says I love you and you don't feel the same way, just say I love YouTube really fast. So I found that kind of fitting since yes, we are talking about YouTube today. And obviously, I'm a huge fan of YouTube as well. For those of you who don't know me, I'm not going to spend more than a minute here just telling you who I am. As Allyn says, I've been online since, gosh, it's been like 17 years now. I've known Allyn for at least 15 of those years, a long, long time. Been doing this Google search engine thing since about the year 2000, which is right around the time I got started online writing articles and publishing e-zine newsletters. And it shows you how far back we're going because e-zines are kind of not really talked about much today. I've been a software nerd since 1995. That's when I got involved in the software business with a very small startup company. I am not a coder. I know enough to be dangerous, but I do not sit down and code at the keyboard. Produced over $2 million in profit using no-cost traffic and many of the same strategies I'm going to share with you here today. And I've shared the stage with some cool and smart guys like Russell Brunson, Frank Kern, Mike Fulsame, to name but a few. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm not a professional speaker. I'll break a few rules you'll probably hear. I'll say a few ums and ahs. I do not spend my days flying across the world, speaking to people on stage. The last event I spoke at was actually a couple of years ago at Mike Fulsame and Andy Jenkins event in San Diego, and that's basically about it. So I spend more time in the trenches doing this stuff, and kind of like the butterfly, I emerge from the cocoon every couple of years, kind of show you what I'm doing and what's working, which is usually a bit different than what most folks are teaching. And I'm not a Hollywood producer. There's some other Jason Potash that has somehow come up through the ranks, and you may find him on Google. That's not me. My life is not as glamorous as a Hollywood producer with life in in the movie sector. But anyway, what I do know is that it's taken me 13 years to realize I've generated free traffic the hard way, and you get to use the proven, fast, and easy way. So anybody here want to literally shave 13 years off their life of testing this stuff and obviously, sometimes failing, going back, getting back on the horse? Of course, right? I'm going to just literally fast forward through all the nonsense I've been through and just really show you what's working today and what is the best strategy I have found for getting results on Google, okay? So obviously, if this was 2012, 2010, we'd be talking about the old way to get traffic, which is buying a domain name, going to GoDaddy, spending the $10, setting up your website and your pages, or hiring somebody to do that. If you got WordPress, you got plugins, you got to get graphics design, you got to get content written, costs more money. Get web hosting, or if you're doing multiple sites, you need specific SEO hosting, right? Costs even more money. And then you got to promote your site with link building and social links and private blog networks, because as you know, you cannot just produce garbage and throw it at Google and expect to get page one rankings. I wish it was that easy. It was that easy back when I got started in the year 2000. Today, though, Google is all about quality, right? I'm sure you already know that. It's all about quality. It's not just about producing mass amounts of garbage. So producing a site today takes a bit of work, and yes, it takes a bit of money. You could spend easily a few $100s, right, on getting that site done. Well, today we're going to bootstrap things. We're going the El Cheapo way. We're spending, no money or as little money as possible to get our stuff to rank on page one of Google, okay? And how we do this is something which is a bit of a secret sauce. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to hide this sauce or, have any kind of shenanigans. I'm going to reveal it to you, and then I'm going to show you exactly how we use that by walking you through the specific process, okay? So we're not going to hold anything back here. Again, I want you to walk away with this formula in your hand. Before we get rolling here, let's just take a little look at what's happening today with paid traffic. I mean, obviously, I'm not knocking Facebook. I do Facebook advertising, but the reality is, Facebook does not want to give you free traffic. We all know that it's a pay to play model, right? You got to hit that boost post button. And even though you can go ahead and post stuff on Facebook, a very small percentage of your audience will see that post. Agreed? You already know this if you do any kind of Facebook marketing. And to make matters worse, as you see here on the top, global costs for Facebook traffic is up 45%. I'm talking 2014 to 2015. For e-commerce, it's even a bit worse. Traffic is up 49% year after year. And I'm sure it's similar from 2015 to 2016 and then 2016 to 2017. The bottom line is that traffic is continuing to increase in costs, and the competition is getting just more fierce by the day, right? Couple interesting stats I found. If you do any kind of e-commerce stuff or Amazon stuff, forget Amazon. YouTube is where shoppers do research. More and more consumers using video to research products. That's what I do. I don't know about you. If I'm looking to buy a new, gas grill, camping grill with the kids, or buying a new sleeping bag, or I'm buying a new portable air conditioner, any kind of product, really. If it's a antivirus software, or if I'm looking to buy an info product and I want to get an idea of what's the feedback on this product, I'll often go to YouTube, because it's very, very powerful watching somebody demonstrate a product or talk about it and kind of getting that emotion from them. And can you trust them versus reading just a static text review on Amazon, right? Wouldn't you agree? Much more powerful. And that's why people gravitate towards video. 1 in 2 consumers say that YouTube videos have influenced a purchase decision. Viewers say online product videos boost purchase likelihood. Okay, so we all know that video is where things are moving. We can choose to sort of ignore it, or we can embrace it and hop on it and kind of be ahead of the curve, right? And this is one of my most exciting slides that I show, and it basically shows you that so there's over 1 billion users on YouTube, right? There's basically each month people watch 3.25 billion hours of video on YouTube. But look on the bottom left. Literally 9% of US small businesses are on YouTube today. Can you see that big disconnect? 3.25 billion hours of video being watched and only 9% of businesses using YouTube. This is going back a couple years, so the stats are probably a bit more now. Maybe it's 12% of businesses, but we can agree that, the opportunity is now to get on YouTube, because there's not a lot of competition and very few small businesses have their ducks in a row to actually capitalize and really get into this traffic and tap into the massive traffic on YouTube, okay? So very exciting stuff. So before we jump into the content here, real quick, Google and Facebook. We all know there's a bit of a tug of war taking place right now. And who's the king of traffic? Is it Google? Is it Facebook? Who's going to win? And I'm putting all my money on Google for various reasons. And we're going to explain this throughout the web class. But the bottom line is that, as you'll discover over the next hour, Google really wants to partner with you. Google wants your content, because without your content, there is no Google, there is no YouTube. And what makes YouTube and Google so successful is organic search. Somebody typing something into a blank white flashing box, right? Like, how to save my marriage, or, best time management software, whatever it might be. And when that happens, obviously, Google needs your content, my content, and as well as YouTube to serve up relevant information to provide the best user experience, right? And when that happens, that's when Google makes money, YouTube makes money, shareholders are happy, and the world is a great place. Again, Facebook is very, very different. They just want to basically get your Visa card and just have you pay to play. Not the case with Google. You can still get a free ride. So we'll talk a bit more about this later on, and again, how we can partner with Google, because they really do want your help and need your content, right? So before we dive in here, I want to kind of just talk about a bit of a concept to kind of get this thing started. Everyone loves recurring revenue, right? We all love membership sites. We all love these type of programs where you bring somebody in one time and then they pay every single month. If it's somebody joining Aweber, or somebody joining lead pages, or somebody enrolling in a supplement program where every month they're getting supplements, you get paid monthly. So recurring revenue is a portion of a company's revenue that is highly likely to continue in the future. This is revenue that is predictable, stable, and can be counted on in the future with a high degree of certainty, right? Well, who else wants recurring free traffic? And that's what we're talking about here today. It's basically, you do the work one time, you bring somebody into your world via them finding you on Google and YouTube, and then that traffic happens daily, weekly, monthly, and it doesn't stop after the first month. It continues month after month after month without you doing anything. Just like bringing that member in to your site, they continue to pay you without you having to really, re-sign them up and get their credit card again. That's why I'm so excited about the stuff I'm showing you here today. It truly is a recurring free traffic model. You just build upon it. And once you go through a few months of this, it becomes very, very exciting. So like any good party, we're going to have some parting gifts at the end. At the end of this web class, I'm going to give you this one-page kind of summary, if you will. It's my easy rank checklist. And I basically took a lot of things I was doing on YouTube. I gave it to my designer, Valerie. I said, can you make this look half decent and figure this out? She sent me a bill for $400 and voila, produced this gorgeous step-by-step checklist here. So that'll be available at the end. Also, a little bit of another Easter egg hidden in there, which is a massive list of keywords I think you'll really find useful. And it'll make sense once we get into the web class here. So before we jump in, a little bit of a fun pop quiz. There are no wrong answers here, so please, be honest. Which video style do you think works best on YouTube and Google? You can put in a combination of these numbers or the number one video style you think works best on Google and YouTube. So 1, 2, or 3, put it in the chat box there. Again, I'm not going to single anybody out. And let's have some fun later on. We'll circle back and see how many of you chose the right one. And I'll explain to you why certain video styles work better than others and that sort of thing. So before we kind of leap into the content here, here's what you're going to discover today. I promise in the next hour or so, using the RPH method, 1, you can rank on page 1 of Google and YouTube in minutes. And we're going to show you that live, okay? So seeing is believing. 2, attract thousands of hyper-responsive prospects to discover you and generate highly targeted free traffic leads and customers on demand. And 3, you can rinse and repeat this process anytime you want. And also, there's a 0 chance of failure. As I mentioned earlier, we really want to see if we can rank on page 1 of Google before we do all the work, okay? And this will all make sense as we get more into the step-by-step process as I show you. Quick question before we dive into step 1. If I promise to give you solid, actionable, knock your socks off, stellar content, can I have your permission to take about 12 minutes later on to present you with a special offer so you can accelerate your results? And this is optional. There's no bait and switch here. No one's trying to trick you. I really do want to deliver amazing content. And if this sounds fair, then please give me a yes or Y in the chat box. I want to make sure that we're on the same page. And again, I want to make sure that I do my best to deliver outstanding content and give you that process. You can walk away from the webinar and say, hey, cool, I can do this. I've got all the pieces I need to make this stuff pop, okay? All right, cool. I see a bunch of yeses, Kathy, Carlene, Jane, Steve, Jennifer, Roger. Cool, thank you, appreciate it. All right, so you ready for this stuff? Let me take a quick little sip of water to hydrate the vocal cords here, and we're going to dive into the 3-step process right now. Okay, so there's 3 steps I want to go through here with you today. This is the time where you should shut your phone off, close down Skype, and really pay attention because, as you can probably already tell, I do tend to talk kind of fast. And when I get really ramped up about this stuff, and this stuff does get me excited, I may talk a little bit faster. So since we can't rewind the tape here, if you will, just make sure you're taking notes. And if something doesn't make sense, by all means, we'll discuss it in the Q&A. So write those questions down. So like any search engine, right? You're going to Google or YouTube, you're just seeing a blank white text box, a search box, where you have to type something in. So we need to pick some keywords that we want to rank for. So when someone types in, best bamboo cutting board, well, they will find your video or find your web page, right? So it's not just about picking any keywords. It's about picking the best easy win keywords, right? So we want to find low competition and easy rank keywords. I mean, listen, I do rank for some very competitive keywords. However, when we're just starting out here, you want to pick some easier keywords, right? Get some easy wins under your belt and then start tackling the more competitive keywords. So that's where we're going to start now. So where do you find these keywords? Well, you probably have already seen the Google Keyword Planner. It's a totally free tool. If you log into your AdWords account, it's sitting there this whole time. However, I want to warn you, though, that you really can't bank on Google's Keyword Planner tool any longer. And this article came out last year. And really, there's a couple of reasons for that. We all know that Google is constantly trying to hide information in terms of giving us marketers data on, how are people finding our sites? What are our best converting keywords, right? What are the best keywords that people are searching on a given monthly basis? So this is inside the Keyword Planner. And you see here an article I grabbed, again, back to September. This person's saying that 8 of his best converting long tail keyword phrases, according to Google, nobody's searching on. There's no competition. There's no one even bothering searching on these keywords. So why waste your time? And if he listened to Google, then he'd be losing a lot of money by not targeting these keywords. So A, some of your most valuable and best keywords you're not going to find using the Google Keyword Planner. And B, what Google's also doing is that instead of giving you a number on, okay, 1,000 people on average are searching for this key phrase a month. Well, now Google gives you a range, right? Are you aware of this at all? So now they'll tell you that 1,000 to 10,000 people are searching using this key phrase. Well, that's a big difference, right? And it even gets worse because sometimes they'll say 10,000 to 100,000 people on average every month are searching this particular key phrase. Well, that's a huge variation, right? 10,000 versus 100,000. So you need to sort of, make some decisions using a bit of gray data or fuzzy data, as you see here. There are alternatives. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of companies selling keyword software and services, like our friends at SEM Rush are charging almost $100 a month for their a keyword plan. That's a cool, $11.94 a year. A lot of money, right? We're kind of bootstrapping things today. We're not spending money on clicks. We're not spending money on any kind of keyword tools. And what I want you to use is something you probably seen but didn't really realize it's right under your nose this whole time. I'm talking about YouTube auto suggest. So when you go to YouTube and type in a keyword phrase, ever notice how YouTube tries to read your mind? You put in t-shirt space D and it's like, oh, you're looking for a t-shirt Destiny's Child or a t-shirt design or a t-shirt dress, and then you can click on one of those options and get served the search results that you want. Well, YouTube is compiling that data based upon millions and millions and millions of searches. And what they're doing is that the top keyword there is the most highly searched, high volume, highly relevant keyword that relates to t-shirt space D. So golden money keyword data, right? I mean, you'll not find this in any keyword tool. You certainly won't find it in the Google Keyword Planner. It's only here within YouTube. So those top 3 or 4 keywords are money keywords. The number one keyword that you want to kind of grab is t-shirt Destiny's Child, right? Which I think is a song, so it may not relate in this case, but t-shirt DIY, t-shirt design, t-shirt dress outfit, all good keywords if you're selling any type of t-shirt related products or apparel or what have you, right? So I want you to do this for t-shirt space A, space B, space C, all the way to Z, using, of course, your primary keyword, whatever your main market is. And then I want you to grab those top 4 or 5 keywords and put them into a big old Excel spreadsheet, right? So in this case, we have 284 words. And mind you, not all those keywords are going to relate to your specific product or market. So you want to kind of go through and manually sort those and get yourself a few dozen keywords you can use later on. We'll kind of get back to this and I'll show you later on how we do this. But what happens, though, is that when you choose keywords that don't have a lot of competition and keywords that obviously have a high degree of search because YouTube's telling you that, hey, this is the most highly relevant, high volume search term that relates to, t-shirt space D, that's when some of the magic comes together, utilizing the power of Google and YouTube. One small example of a glimpse into my world, after 1 month, 23.08% conversion, sales conversion, and $390 profit. You can see here circled in red, I'm getting 18.18% conversion from a sales standpoint, and above that, 23.08%. That means that somebody watches my video, and out of those people that click on the link in the video, 23% of those people actually buy something. And when's the last time you got 23% on anything, on an opt-in, on a click-through, on an email, on a click-through on an ad? I mean, it's just unheard of, right? I mean, a huge degree of conversion. And again, these are people taking their wallet out and buying something. Now, you may wonder why at the bottom of your screen, you see a little 4% there in terms of sales conversion. Well, I actually ran some paid traffic to this particular video, tried to kind of get things started. And once I shut off the actual paid traffic, that's when the magic happened. And the reason being is because, think about it, when somebody types something into a search bar saying, hey, what is the best antivirus software? And you have a video that basically convinces them on why they should look at product A, B, or C. If you play your cards right, within a few minutes, you can turn a lot of those views into getting somebody to take action and to click on that link and make a purchase. Now, just so you know, in these videos, I did not use my name. I did not use my face. It was not the Jason Potash channel. This was just some random guy online talking to you why I believe this is the best product or service. And then 23% of those people are taking me up on that recommendation. So powerful stuff, right? And we'll get into more specifics in terms of the kind of videos you got to use and how to get your stuff ranked and what have you. But that's the power of video. That's the power of search and discovery. People searching on Google and YouTube because they want the information. And then they find you, you give them the information, and then they act upon whatever you're recommending. High percentage of that conversion because of the power of search discovery and video marketing, right? Does that make sense? Some more recent stats. This is going from JV Zoo. 24 bucks for one video, 140 bucks for one video, 48 bucks. And the thing I want you to kind of pay attention to is that we're not talking about massive clicks, right? I'm not here saying, oh, look I got 20,000 clicks in one day. You've probably seen that before. What we're doing is setting up these little, I call them video traffic machines, and they're each getting 25 visitors a day or views a day, maybe 5 clicks here, 10 clicks there. And because of the high degree of sales conversion, we're making sales with a very low volume of traffic, right? Does that make sense? You can see this here. We're getting very, we're getting a trickle of clicks coming in from one video, but the conversion is very, very high. And the question is, if you can make, 300 bucks, or even 200 bucks on the low end to $500 a month profit with one simple video, how many of these suckers would you create, on a weekly, monthly, or yearly basis? Would you create one and kind of, hang up your hat? Probably not, right? You probably create, half a dozen, maybe, go crazy, create a dozen of them. And before you know it, you've got, a dozen or more of these little video traffic machines bringing in views, clicks, and opt-ins and sales on a daily basis. And that's when things get excited. And that's what I want you to do utilizing the system I'm going to share with you here today, okay? So we got the keyword part down. That's step number one. Once you have a handful of keywords, you want to test using the IRPH system. And the question is, can you rank on page 1 of Google and YouTube for a certain keyword? And before we spend money, before we actually create any content, before we outsource it, all that stuff, we want to find out, hey, can we get on the dance floor, page 1, and rank before we do all that stuff? It takes a bit of time or money. Make sense? This is one of 3 methods I use to rank on Google and YouTube. It often is the easiest method. It's the most beginner-friendly method, shall we say, if you're new to YouTube and Google traffic getting. And once I walk into the process, I think you'll see it really is simple to put this stuff together and to make it happen. Is it the best method? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It really depends on certain factors and kind of where you are in your journey with getting traffic on Google and on YouTube.
Hey, Jason.
Alan, yes, sir.
Yeah, nobody can see your screen.
Oh, boy, what's going on here? Okay. I don't know why that happened. That is bizarre. Thank you for letting me know, though. I appreciate that. Let me see here.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where we stopped here, but let me go back a second. We should be back on now.
Yep, we're good.
All right, here. Anyway, there's nothing to see here really. I was just basically showing you some of the visuals on creating these, multiple videos. And then step 2, the IRPH method. So really, again, before you build anything, we want to use the instant ranking placeholder method. And I'm going to kind of show you how it works in a second here, but I want you to kind of just take a step back and imagine for a second here, like some kind of a fairy tale land, if you will, where you had this uncanny ability to be clairvoyant, where you could look at a list of keywords and you could instantly know, okay, I've got what, like 10 keywords here. And I know ahead of time that these ones here I've circled in green. I know I can rank on page 1 all day long, guaranteed, if I go and choose to want to rank on Google and YouTube. And the other keywords, I'm going to just ignore those because, I'm stuck on position 32, 33, 58, 100, 109. Forget it. If I'm not on page 1, I'm not going to bother with it. And the good news is that, yes, this kind of clairvoyancy or the ability to see into the future and to know how you're going to rank is available. And it's available through the secret sauce I mentioned to you. Now, when I reveal the secret sauce, you've probably heard about it before, but before you roll your eyes and go, oh, yeah, nothing new, heard of this already. What I want you to pay attention to is how we are utilizing the secret sauce. I guarantee you, no one has shown you the unique twist and method that I'm using that utilizes the secret sauce. Okay, so please pay attention. And the secret sauce is YouTube Live. Now, you may not realize it, but actually right now we are streaming this webinar through YouTube Live, all right? And I want to read you a quote here on the left-hand side, if you follow on with me. Does live streaming on YouTube affect SEO? It does. It's huge. Live streaming triggers something in YouTube's search algorithm that just makes it go bonkers in a good way. This is from Tim Schmoyer. He's a YouTube consultant. He flies down to YouTube's offices all the time, speaks at their events. He's a high-level guy, does all kinds of high-end consulting with big companies. So it's not just me telling you this, people. It's a highly respected guy like Tim telling you this as well. But also, I will tell you this. Not only does live streaming make YouTube's search algorithm go bonkers in a good way, it also happens on Google, almost even more so on Google. And you may not know this as well. Going back a couple months to April of this year, you remember how Google has a live streaming platform called Google Hangouts on Air. And again, you may have been on a webinar that was streamed utilizing Google Hangouts on Air. Well, Google put the brakes on and killed Google Hangouts on Air. I think it was April 25th of this year, in favor of YouTube Live. So they're basically all in on YouTube Live. That doesn't tell you on where the future of YouTube and Google is going. I don't know what does, right? Because again, YouTube Live is it. And as I'll show you in a few minutes here, we really can make some amazing things happen utilizing the search engine algorithm that goes bonkers by tapping into Google and YouTube with YouTube Live, all right? So you guys want to see how this is done? Let's kind of walk you through the process. I thought rather than show you a bunch of screenshots from 2015, let's do something more exciting and really kind of get in, roll our hands up and get our hands wet and do this stuff live, okay? So obviously we got to pick some keywords, right? And rather than just randomly pick these keywords that nobody would even search on, I mean, I'm talking keywords like, let's say, for example, the best weight loss program under $100 that works in 90 days. Like nobody is searching on that kind of a ridiculously long key phrase. Agreed, right? So we got to find some keywords with some meat on the bone. So I thought, let's look at this list of the 100 top most expensive keywords in the US, according to Search Engine Watch. And you may see that a number, I think it's number 5 or so, or 6, there's a bunch of terms related to water damage. And you see here, I kind of highlighted it. So if people are paying right now on Google and bidding for Google AdWords traffic, advertisers are paying $381.65 for one click. I'm talking a single click, okay? Now, if you and I bid for San Diego water damage and had to pay, $380 per click, I think you get a call from Visa in about a week saying, you kind of reached your max on your Visa card here. We got to do something because you blow through tens of thousands of dollars in no time, right? So I thought, let's kind of pick some water damage related keywords. And obviously, if someone's got a problem where they got the basement's full of water or there's some kind of an issue after a big rainstorm, this is a high degree, a 5-alarm keyword, right? This has to be fixed yesterday. You can't just wait for months and go, we'll get to that water damage. So a lot of companies know that we're talking thousands of dollars in restoration and damage restoration. So obviously they're paying big bucks because the money is there, right? So I'm going to just change screens here for a second, and we're going to walk you through this process so you can see how it works here. So bear with me for 1 second here to get things organized here. Good time to take a drink of water, perhaps, if you're a little bit parched like I am here. Of course, my computer's a bit slow, so I got like a million windows open and a webinar streaming. But let me pull up some keywords here. So what I did is I basically didn't want to go through the whole process of picking keywords, which would take us probably a few more minutes. So I went to basically a list of all the cities in Florida, and I sorted them alphabetically, and I picked the top 2 and I picked the bottom 2 just to keep it random. I've never ranked these keywords. I've never ranked any keywords in these particular cities. So this is all brand new. So quite honestly, the disclaimer is that I don't even know how many of these will rank. I'm hoping at least one of them will rank just to kind of show you the power of how fast this stuff works. Okay. So these are the keywords we're gonna have some fun with here. So I've already opened up YouTube here. Let me blow up my screen so you can see what's going on here. I've logged into YouTube. I'm in the Creator Studio. And on the left side here, you'll see that under live streaming, there's an events listing here, right? You can ignore these here. These are just some previous things I've done. I just left them there. I forgot to delete them. I think these are actually still ranking. Deerfield Emergency Plumber, that's for a client. And then Texas State Flag Coffee Mug. I was doing some e-commerce testing last week. So those are still ranked if you want to check those at some point. But today we're going to do something totally different, focusing on the water damage niche. So if you click on New Live Event here, and just follow me through the process, okay? And then later on, I'm going to show you more examples of other niches and that kind of thing. So don't worry, we'll go through a lot of different examples here to show you how many different types of keywords and niches we can rank for. But today, though, I just want to kind of cut and paste in the keyword here. Now, in terms of the date, we're scheduling live event. Put it ahead 4 or 5 days or so. Don't worry about the date and the time too much. Do worry about the country. We want to focus on, of course, the USA. So put in USA time. Don't worry about it. Description. Now we're doing things really, really kind of shortcutting things. We're putting in the main keyword 3 times, which again, I know you can do better than this. This is just very simple optimization. Okay. The tag again, Alachua water damage. That's it for there. Next thing you want to do is on advanced settings, you want to set the language as English. You want to put the video location as, depending on the actual location. In this case, we're Alachua, Florida. However, if we were targeting the United States, you put United States. If you were targeting United Kingdom, you put United Kingdom. If you're targeting Portugal, put in Portugal. At the bare minimum, put in a country, okay? The category doesn't really matter. Ignore that. There's really no difference. People in blogs or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Click on the Create Event button here at the top. Next, it's going to ask you to set up a thumbnail image. This is the thumbnail you see, you know, on page 1 of Google when you see the thumbnail of the video, or on page 1 of YouTube, you see all the thumbnail images. So yes, it's important to have a unique thumbnail image. I recommend you do that. But in the interest of saving time today, we are not going to do that because I want to make this a quick little process, okay? In terms of the bit rate, you always want to choose high definition. That means a bare minimum 720p. I always recommend you do 1020p, if not greater. I don't have any videos in 4K at this point yet, but I have plenty in 1080p. And the reason is YouTube and Google want to provide the best user experience possible. Why is that? Well, ask yourself this. Have you ever caught yourself clicking on a YouTube video and it's like 240p where the screen is all grainy and the audio is all crackly? What happens? You usually stop that video or you hit the back button, right? Because it's horrible. It's a horrible experience. And YouTube knows that the higher the quality video in terms of production and audio and video, the more time you're going to spend watching that video. And we'll talk about this later on a bit more, but the more time you spend watching videos on Google and YouTube, the more money YouTube makes. So you really want to make sure you're helping to get people to watch as much of your video as possible, because you'll be rewarded in spades. You'll get higher rankings and more traffic and more visitors. And I'll kind of talk more about that later on. But for now, it's all about the 1080p, okay? 1080p is kind of where it's at. So we'll save that. If you go under events here, there is our water damage live event. Okay, if you click on it, you'll see nothing happens. It says, hey, it's live in 4 days. Come back later. It doesn't mean that after 4 days, this live event gets canceled. On the contrary, I'll show you examples later on. I have an event that's 2 years old that's still setting up here, and I could stream that into a video anytime I want to, okay? So one is done. Let's try to pick up the pace here and hammer through these a bit faster. We're only going to do 4 of them today, so I don't want to bore you here for hours, but you should be able to kind of jump ahead of me now and see exactly how we're doing this. So we got the keyword there. Of course, we want to target the United States. Scroll way to the bottom to United States. Again, very basic, low down and dirty optimization, right? 1, 2, 3. On advanced settings, we want to choose video language as English. A category, don't worry about. In this case, we're actually targeting people in Florida, so we might as well use that to our advantage. And the reason why you want to put in a video location, because you need to help YouTube and Google understand what demographic your video appeals to, if it actually appeals to people in the United States or people who are in Bulgaria. And unless you put in a specific location, YouTube can't read your mind and say, oh, it's an English video. I guess it's for people who are in the United States. You can't make that assumption, right? You got to give them a little bit of a direction. Bitrate, if you're paying attention, you already know, 1080p, right? Save changes, that's done. We go back here and check, make sure we're good to go. Okay, boom, it's 2 down, halfway done here. Gonna cut and paste. I'm just cutting and pasting from the list here, by the way, in case you didn't see that. We're gonna go new live event here. Just cut and paste again. Let's see how fast I can do this. Go ahead 3 or 4 days, doesn't matter. United States, scroll way down here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Zephyr Hills, I think I drank some spring water or mineral water from Zephyr Hills. I think that name sounds familiar, so it must be a decent sized city. Advanced settings, language, English, right? Zephyr Hills, home of the best spring water around. Maybe not. We're going to drop a pin. Thank you, Mr. Google. I'm going to create, or Mrs. Google, I'm going to create an event here, and then we got to go and choose the bit rate. 1080p, right? 1080p, always, always, always 1080p. And listen, in this day and age, there's no excuse not to create 1080p video. I mean, it almost is, you know, it's like 720p was a few years ago. It's really kind of the standard now. You need to provide at least HD video, right, for people who are watching your stuff. Again, to provide the best user experience, to make YouTube and Google happy, and obviously to increase your rankings and get you more traffic. And I'll explain why that happens in a few minutes here. Again, country, way down to United States. Gulf of Springs. Settings. English, right? You're probably jumping along here right ahead of me, hopefully. Location. Again, we want to put in at least a state or a country. In this case, we have a city, so we'll do that. Focus on the city. Create the event. And of course, last but by no means least, the very important bit rate, 1080p. All right. Now, at this point, you may be wondering, well, what now? What happens next? Hold your horses. We're going to circle back, and don't worry, I'll explain every part of the process and what we have to do next, so it's all going to be clear to you, okay? So we should be good to go here, I think. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, perfect. So that's good. We're going to pause on that for a second, okay? Just leave that sitting as it is. And let's go back to our regularly scheduled program here, and we'll continue with what happens next. All right. So, all right. So that took, I wasn't counting, I'm guessing 4, 5, 6 minutes. I mean, I was talking obviously and walking you through the process, but you know, it takes you a few minutes, but it's not that difficult, right? I mean, anybody can do this stuff. It's pretty simple. I even had my 13-year-old son working on videos a couple years ago, and he's still doing stuff today and using the same system. It's really not that difficult. And again, there's no guesswork because we're using the IRPH method to know in advance if we can rank on page 1 of Google and YouTube before we actually end up creating a video and that kind of thing, which I'll explain to you in just a few minutes here. And would you agree that time's the only thing limiting your success? If you could do, 4 of these a day, I mean, the more of them you create, the higher your degree of success, right? Over a given week, if you could do a dozen of these, I guarantee you're going to find a handful of those will rank. And the more you can create these live events, the more successful you will be. I'm going to show you some ways to shortcut some time later on. But for now, though, I mean, it's just all about the time you can invest into utilizing this system. Because again, it's not costing you money to create these events. Big question, but Jason, will this work for my product or my niche? All right. Just to give you some examples that I ran going back a few months back for iPhone 6C case review. Number 1 left on Google, 534,000 competing results. You can see in 5 minutes, we ranked that placeholder. The right side on YouTube, 6,000 results. We ranked that again. It took literally a few minutes, okay? That's more for the e-commerce side. Let's talk about, Shopify products or anybody doing any kind of AliExpress kind of stuff, right? Drop shipping or whatever. I typed in best cutting board company. Now, this is what I call a buyer keyword. And a buyer keyword means that somebody is in buying mode. So when you type the word best before any type of product or service, what does that mean? It means you're looking for the best solution, right? You're not looking to buy in the crappiest solution. You want the best cutting board, or you want the best, iPhone case. You want the best project management software, whatever the case may be. So when you type the word in best or the word buy before a keyword or the word review after a keyword, are you getting this stuff now? These are keywords that you type in when you're looking at making a purchase decision. So if someone's typing in best cutting board company, I mean, they are looking for the best cutting board company to buy the best cutting board, right? As you can see here, we're ranked number 9, I think. Took 2 minutes utilizing the test. And on page 1 of Google, there's 25,600,000 results. So a lot of competition here, okay? Not a small keyword by any means. On the right side, less competition on YouTube, 22,000, and we're ranked number 1 out of the gate. Bam, okay? So exciting to see how quickly this can happen. I also ran some tests last year. LG came out with a new 4K TV. And these 4K TVs are like $3,000 to $4,000, right? Very expensive, especially when they're brand new. I said, you know what? Let's see if we can rank for these keywords and maybe turn this into an Amazon video and make, 5-7% commission on a $3 or $4 grand TV. Not a bad bunch of change, right? So on the left side, you see here, I'm ranked number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rather. 5 minutes for this particular LG 65E6 4K TV review. Again, if somebody's looking for a review on the product, and I do my job right, I'll probably get that sale. We all know Amazon has very cheap prices, so they might as well order from Amazon as well, right? On the right side, the 55-inch model of this 4K TV ranked number 3. And again, took 4 minutes to do that. So, and we're ranked above LG.com itself. And we're also ranked amongst some very popular and authority sites like Forbes.com. We're ranked just below avforums.com, amazon.com, cnet.com. So these are high authority sites, right? And then bam, we're cutting right through the clutter, right to the top of page 1 or on page 1, utilizing the RPH method. Now, if you do any kind of info products or if you're an affiliate marketer, here's something I want you to kind of think about, which is a creative way to get a lot of different rankings by focusing more on rankings at the city level. So let's suppose that you are promoting a guitar lesson program off of ClickBank. There's probably at least 6 different programs like Jamarama and that sort of thing where you can spend $47 and get access to a whole library of music lessons and tutorials. Well, imagine somebody lives in Adrian, I think it's New Zealand, Adrian, New Zealand, and they're typing in acoustic guitar lessons, Adrian, for their son or daughter. And you can in the video say, hey, understand you're looking for guitar lessons. That's great. Well, now before you hop in the car, drive 15, 20 minutes to the studio, sit in the studio and read boring guitar magazines which don't interest you, wait for your son or daughter for half an hour, pay the $22, $25, $28, whatever it is for the lesson, hop back in the car, probably drop by and get McDonald's because your son or daughter is hungry, another $12, drive home, another 15 minutes, and then repeat the process every single week. Before you do that, I want you to look at this amazing self-study program where people can study at their own pace. They can rewind the lessons. They can watch them multiple times. They can take their lessons any day of the week, any time of the day, take the lesson multiple times, and that's all available for one low payment of $47. Click on this link. Can you see how powerful that is? By changing that conversation from somebody looking for something locally and having them maybe look at a type of information product or an online lesson. And the same thing applies with a lot of different products. A lot of people are typing in a product name. Even it might be a life coach, Life Coach San Diego. I talked to a fellow last week who does different types of coaching in San Diego, business coaching. And I said, well, people might type in business coach San Diego, but it doesn't mean that you have to drive to them to coach them. I mean, with all the tools we have today, right? You can use Skype, you can use teleconferencing, you can use Webinar Jam, GoToMeeting, whatever it is, and basically turn that conversation from them driving to a business coach in San Diego to doing things virtually. So does that make sense? And for some of you, it'll be an aha moment. You'll be like, holy crap, I can see all kinds of opportunities. Others, maybe not so much, but hopefully that gives you some ideas to think about on targeting local cities and states and countries as it appeals to your product and to your niche. Another big question you probably have is, do these rankings stick long term? Well, I mentioned earlier when I talked to Andy Jenkins before he released Webinar Jam Studio and I showed him some of the things I was doing. Well, for some reason, I left some of those instant ranking placeholders up. I guess I just kind of wanted to leave them there to see what happened. And you can still find these. If you go to Google and type in Webinar Jam Studio Demo or Webinar Jam Live Demo or Webinar Jam Review, I mean, there's probably a dozen different keywords I'm ranking for with a single live event placeholder. And that live event has stuck there. You'll find it there. And the reason why it's there is because that's the power of using these live events, right? Especially on Google, also on YouTube as well. Now, I must warn you though, you do find that your live events will not have the same staying power on YouTube as they do on Google. I'm not sure why it happens. That's just the way it is. And why is a 0 minutes live event placeholder sticking on page 1 of Google and YouTube? Is because that's the power of YouTube Live, right? That's what I'm telling you about. It makes Google and YouTube search algorithm just go bonkers. Now, I'm not recommending you do what I did and leave your live event placeholder on Google for 2 years like I did. I definitely recommend you turn that into a video. I'll explain how to do that in the next few minutes here. But you know what? These things rank for months and months and months, and they continue to rank because, again, we're not tricking Google and YouTube. We're playing by the rules. We're utilizing their own platform, right? YouTube Live, and we're giving Google and YouTube exactly more of what it wants. Now, I want to kind of give you an idea on some of the results that I've gotten. I mean, I have 4 Google accounts right now, and a bunch so in those Google accounts, I have a bunch of YouTube channels. Probably, I would say on average 6 to 12 YouTube channels per account. That's not typical. As you probably appreciate, I'm a bit of a mad scientist with this stuff. Most of my students have 1 or 2 YouTube accounts and 1 or 2 channels. I mean, not a lot of channels. I mean, 2 channels is totally fine. But what I want to show you here is not to show you how I created some dancing cat video that got 200,000 views. I don't care about views, honestly. I care about conversion. I care about sales. I care about opt-ins. And the end goal, it's about conversion. It's not about getting 100,000 views. It's about quality versus quantity. And the exciting thing is, even having a few hundred views to your video, you will get results because the target is the traffic is so targeted, right? Because somebody's typing in something on Google and YouTube, they're requesting the information. You're not shoving a Facebook ad in their face when they're not looking for it. They are requesting that information and you're delivering it to them. And if you do your job right in the video, a high percentage of those people will download, opt in, and buy something. So when I'm getting 22,000 views, and if I can get 10% conversion, like I showed you before, I'm making money all day long, right? If I'm getting 11,000 views and I'm getting even 5%, 6% of people to actually go ahead and buy something, I'm making money all day long with a relatively low amount of views compared to what you usually hear of, which is, again, the dancing cat video that's 200,000 views. Does that make sense? I mean, you should be kind of relieved knowing that you don't have to create this mega viral video that gets 200,000 views in a week. We're not talking about those kind of videos. We're talking about very specific, smaller videos that have a very laser focused point and purpose and market, right? And that's how we do things here. So once we've gone through the process of creating those instant ranking placeholders, I want you to check Google and see how we're doing. And if you find that, voila, hey, look, in this case, we are actually ranked #1 on Google with 556,000 pages competing with us on Google, which is pretty cool. Then you want to convert that live event placeholder into a video as quickly as possible, okay? And how we do that is utilizing the YouTube Live platform, right? Now, there's a few different software tools you can use to do this. The most popular one that has been around for a few years is something called Wirecast or Wirecast Play. And basically what Wirecast does, it allows you to basically, upload your video, if you will, and then stream it as a live broadcast right to YouTube. And you can have a pre-recorded MP4 video file, right? You don't have to put the camera on and, be live streaming with your webcam. You can have a pre-recorded video, and then within Wirecast, you basically, upload that video. Now, I got to warn you, it's not an easy process. It's not a point and click type of process. It does take a while to learn it. I can't demonstrate Wirecast because it'll take a lot of time to do that and to set it up. There are lots of videos on YouTube if you want to go ahead and get that software and take a look at how it's done. There is another alternative. There is another way. I do have some software that I created just to make it easier, and I'll share with you that later on. Again, it's optional, or you can use Wirecast Play. So step 1, we've obviously found a target, right? We've got keywords. Step 2, we just threw a bunch of these keywords, against the wall to see what sticks, utilizing the IRPH process, creating these live events. We went through a process, right? And the last step here is then building. And it's not about creating random videos. It's about using sticky content and utilizing a video style and duration that boosts your watch time and engagement, okay? So the bottom line is you can't polish a turd. And I did this presentation live not too long ago, and people were kind of laughing and ha ha ha. But in all seriousness, I mean, as funny as it may sound, you cannot take your piece of crap video and release it to YouTube and Google and expect you're going to fool Google and YouTube that this is the greatest piece of content ever. That ship has sailed. You could do that 3, 4, 5 years ago easily. You could have a 10-second video, release it, get page 1 rankings, and you're done. Cannot do that anymore. So the good news is most of the spammers have left the building because they can't cheat and fake YouTube anymore. They can't spam YouTube with garbage. They've left the building. The good news is for you and I, by just putting in a little bit of extra time and effort and creating some decent content, we can win the game. We can get to the top of the food chain. We can get all that traffic with less competition because there's less spammers that are taking the time to do this, right? Because as you know, spammers don't spend time or money on anything. It's all push button, push button, push button, right? So it's actually become a little bit easier on YouTube and Google, believe it or not, because there's less competition with a lot of these spammers out there. And as you'll see here, YouTube today is less about views, again, less about getting 100,000 views and it's more about watch time. And this change came about a few years ago. And as you see, the article says here, YouTube algorithm change, time watched key to higher video search rankings. And the article says, YouTube has started adjusting the ranking of videos in YouTube search to reward engaging videos that keep viewers watching. In other words, watch time has replaced view count in the YouTube algorithm. And that's when that real shift took place, okay? Which means that you can't go and buy a bunch of robot views or fake views like you could. Buy 5,000 views and then get to the top of Google and YouTube. It does not work anymore. If you do that, one thing will happen. You'll get your video removed. And two things might happen. You may get your YouTube account suspended or permanently deleted, which is what you do not want to have happen, right? So anything I'm showing you here today is above board, long term. We're not risking our channel. We're not risking getting our videos deleted. Everything here is completely white hat and works for the long haul, okay? So again, it's watch time. If somebody's watching 10 seconds of your video and hitting the back button, what is that telling YouTube and Google? It's probably a piece of garbage video. It's not providing the best user experience. Somebody typed in best time management software and your video 10 seconds in was a piece of garbage. They click the back button. That tells Google and YouTube, this video is not about the best time management software. On the flip side, imagine you have a 2-minute video and people are watching on average a minute and a half. Maybe some are watching the entire 2-minute video. What does that tell Google and YouTube? Pretty obvious, right? It tells Google and YouTube that, hey, this video is relevant, it's on point, the content is good, people are digging the content, we've provided a good user experience because the content is actually fulfilling the search query. And when that happens, ding, 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 guess what? You get rewarded by your video bubbling up within the search rankings. That's where the magic really happens. And that's when you start to get a lot of free traffic by Google and YouTube rewarding you just because you played it cool and actually provided some value rather than try to cheat the system. Does that make sense? All right, so let's kind of circle back here to about 40 minutes ago. We talked about the best style of video that works on YouTube. And the answer is number 3. So let me just see here what some of you chose and see if we actually are kind of accurate here. Let me go way back, way back, way back, way back. I see a bunch of ones, a bunch of twos. Oh, it seems like 2 was the most popular answer. And you know what? If you chose 2, give yourself a pat on the back. You're not entirely wrong. That's my second choice for the best video style on YouTube and Google. Now, let's talk about number 2. It's, of course, the talking head video, DTC or direct to camera. They can work very, very well. However, most people are scared to death of putting on the webcam, trying to look all professional-like and clean up the disaster behind them and create this professional video and be convincing and and not look like a deer in the headlights. Most people do not want to create a direct-to-camera video. Agreed? It's just like most people don't want to stand behind a podium and deliver a speech. Don't they say people are more afraid of delivering a speech than death? I mean, probably similar to actually creating a video of you being on camera. And that's why my go-to video is number 3, which is an animated whiteboard video. Any kind of an animated video that shows animation, animated text that's cascading over the screen, a movement, moving characters, images that are moving, any kind of movement that's going to engage people and capture them. That's why I go to number 3. And yes, as creepy as it may seem, seeing a floating hand on the screen, I don't know why, it works. The animated videos, they work. So the good news is they're inexpensive to create those videos, and also they're pretty easy to create them as well yourself if you have the proper resources and tools at your disposal, okay? So again, number 3 is kind of where it's at in terms of speed, convenience, and cost, and also the time involved. And the bottom line is, you probably already know this, we have a shorter attention span than goldfish. And the bad news is this has been sliding downhill over the past few years. This article is going back a few years at maybe 10 seconds now. So the bottom line is if you don't capture people's attention in the first 10 seconds on a video on YouTube or Google, you are dead in the water, right? Very, very important to capture their attention because there's so many other blinking lights on YouTube, right? There's videos on the top, bottom, before the video. You need to make sure you capture their attention and get them engaged. How do you do that? Well, the number one secret, believe it or not, is, it's all about the script and not the video, as you see here, circled in red. The most important part of a video is the script and not the actual video quality itself. Whether you have a high quality video or a mediocre one, if the script isn't good, it won't convert well. This is from the smart folks over at Crazy Egg, in particular, Neil Patel. So literally, I just saved you from blowing your brains out and buying that $1,400 DSLR camera. I have one of these cameras. I don't use the damn thing. Only time I use it is at family functions with the kids or whatever kind of videotaping my dog in the backyard, chasing birds, whatever. But I don't use the thing for my online business. I don't do direct to camera videos. It takes too much time, too much effort involved. And I use the old, like I said, animated videos for most of my stuff. Use ScreenFlow or Camtasia, bam. Or I outsource it and I'm done, okay? So I encourage you as well, focus on the script and don't worry about how fancy your video looks. It's what you say and how you say it which will convince people to do something. It's not about having this Hollywood-style production video, okay? So we're kind of wrapping things up here. I want to kind of just summarize some of the things we talked about here. Step one, picking a target. Find underutilized, low competition, easy win, buyer and action keywords, right? We talked a bit about buyer keywords. Action keywords, very much the same. If someone's looking for a tutorial or a download or looking for a case study, I mean, things that they can use and consume before they make a buying decision, or things that they want that will cause them to take an action, like downloading or opting into a squeeze page. Those are action keywords, very, very powerful. Also talked about test ranking, right? Utilizing the instant ranking placeholders method to see if you can easily rank on page one of Google and YouTube. If you rank, great, then we turn that live event into a video using some live stream software, Wirecast, or I'll show you some software I have in just a second here. And the no-go point is if we're not ranking, what do? We just simply move on to a bunch of other keywords and we delete those live events because we're not using them anymore. If we're on page 1,000, you just delete those live events. Okay, no problem, delete them. Create a bunch of new live events and keep rinsing and repeating the process, right? Does that make sense? And number three, we only build and stream and only do the work when we know with 100% certainty that page one rankings are guaranteed. You saw a bunch of screenshots I showed you earlier on showing you the page one rankings. And when you see that, ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner, that's only when you go and take your video and actually go through the process of streaming it. And then we can actually replace that live event with our video, which I'll show you in just a second here. So just some examples here. I'm not saying you're going to generate, even a dollar worth of free traffic. But if you get the stuff right and really pay attention to what I'm saying and follow the process, amazing things can happen. This is one example of an affiliate offer in the web hosting niche, probably one of the more competitive niches in the online marketing space. As you see here, people are paying $3.52 for traffic, for one click rather, advertising Google AdWords. I've generated well over 6,700 clicks, 430 signups. That is people who bought something, put their wallet out and bought something. 6.35% conversion. Again, the videos are not me talking, not me mentioning my name. This is not people from my email list. I'm just some random dude on Google and YouTube who's talking about this web hosting product service and why it's so great. And if I had to buy that traffic, I would have spent well over $23,000 in free traffic, right? Of course, all the money I made is pure profit because I'm not paying for traffic. That's the beauty of tapping into free traffic from Google and YouTube, utilizing the same system I just showed you, okay? So I'm going to just pause for a second here. Again, I'm kind of drying out for some reason. I'm going to take a quick sip of water, and then I want to ask you an important question, and then we're going to dive into the Q&A and give you that PDF download I promised you earlier, okay? So if you have questions, save them for just a minute here. I'm going to take a quick sip here. Much better. So we're just about at the hour mark here. And listen, I can appreciate I've given you a lot of information here today. I've thrown at you over the past hour. And because you're paying attention and because you're still here, I know you want to get free traffic from Google and YouTube too, right? And preferably in the shortest amount of time possible without taking 13 years and trying all kinds of stuff that doesn't work like I did. You want to kind of hit the pavement running, right? And with everything I've gone through here today, how many of you would like to see an easier way? And more importantly, have I earned the right to show you a faster and easier way? Just, the good news is there are easier ways, there are shortcuts. You can use tools and automation and cheat sheets so you can accelerate results even faster. And there are also different types of hacks. I hate to use the word hacks, but legal hacks that are totally safe. That'll just kind of get you from point A to point B and get your results even faster. And I recently put together a special package that provides you with, really all the stuff in my brain, just a brain dump of the tools and tactics and Google approved strategies and a proven blueprint so you can be successful getting free traffic from Google and YouTube too. And if you give me just 12 minutes here, I'd like to share with you a special package I put together just to kind of tell you what it's all about. And maybe it's right for you, maybe it's not, but I want to kind of just lay it out there to give you an idea. And if that's okay, just give me a quick Y or a yes in the chat box. And then, as I said, I promise we will get to your Q&A. I will get you that download. Hopefully, I've given you a lot of great content as I promised you, to really have you understand this process so that you can do this stuff. You know, it's one thing just talking about it, but I want you to do this stuff and actually put the results into practice. Okay. All right, cool. I see a bunch of Y's coming through and yeses. So let me just kind of talk about V-traffic machines real quick, and we'll get into the fun stuff with the Q&A and download. So V-traffic machines, which stands for video traffic machines, of course, it follows the same process we've been talking about over the past hour. 1, research, 2, rank, and 3, build. Of course, I've just done a lot to provide software and automation and more kind of training just to really accelerate your results and amplify them like nothing else, right? Before we dive into that, the real question here, though, just to kind of cycle back to what I mentioned at the beginning of this web class, you know, who's the real champion, right? Who's the champion of the search engines? Who's the champion of video? Is it Facebook or is it YouTube? And hopefully by now you can understand that, you know, Google and YouTube want your content. They're embracing you with open arms. And we have an opportunity here to partner with Google and YouTube. And just by providing good content that has a high degree of watch time, you know, you can get yourself to rank quite easily and get that free traffic from Google and YouTube. Because guess what? Every piece of content you and I create and we put on Google and YouTube is a profit center for Google and YouTube. You already know this, right? Every YouTube video you see, there's sometimes an ad before the video, right? Sometimes you'll have a little banner ad pop up in the middle of the video. If you do a YouTube search, you'll see there's actually paid placement ads on top of the video. There's also paid placement ads on the right side of the video. So YouTube knows that the more time you spend on YouTube and the more content you upload to YouTube, those are more profit centers for YouTube to make money. So you see, if YouTube is making money off your content and there's more people watching videos and spending more time on YouTube, can you see how it's in YouTube's best interest to reward you with more traffic and higher rankings? Because they're making more money, so everyone's happy. So that's why I'm putting, you know, all my focus on YouTube and Google, because it's a very different game than Facebook. And obviously, when someone's searching on a keyword and discovering your piece of content on Google and YouTube, you really can't beat that type of targeted prospect versus somebody shoving a yoga pants video into your face on Facebook when you're not really interested in that at that point in time. So can you understand that and see the differences there? So that's why I'm all in on Google and YouTube, and hopefully you're excited about this stuff too. So real quick, V-Traffic Machines is a 2-part course. The training goes in 2 phases. Phase 1, I have no idea where you're at. If you're just getting started, you don't have a YouTube account, you don't have a Google account, you haven't created channels, we want to get you kind of engaged and get you on the short path to getting results, right? So that's why I created a whole bunch of getting started modules on YouTube. Also, we got to define your YouTube content strategy. Who's your ideal prospect? What age are they? Are they male, female? Where do they live? What are their interests? You know, what sort of things are they into? Are they looking for? We got to define all of that to understand what type of people you want to attract and bring them into your funnel, right? Also, we're going to talk more about how to find those easy rank, high traffic keywords, which is very important, and a bunch of really helpful handouts and checklists like you see here to kind of make the process a lot easier. So value right now is about $891. Next, obviously, you have to optimize and build. And the goal is to create quick and low cost, good content that maximizes watch time and discovery. Watch time, as you know, is important, right? The larger the percentage of persons watching your video, that's going to instantly skyrocket your rankings and like slingshot them to the top of YouTube and Google. And discovery is important as well, because you need people to type in a search phrase into Google and YouTube and discover your video. That's how you get the massive views, the massive traffic, the massive clicks, and turn those into buyers and opt-ins, downloads, that kind of stuff, right? Well, to optimize your video, really critical part, I'm going to give you a series of checklists and swipe files just to take any thought out of the equation to really make sure we're optimizing your videos so that you're having as many people as possible search and discover your content on YouTube and Google, okay? Very, very important. And on the right side, your thumbnail is also important. It's the eye candy, the eye clickbait that people see that they click on. I've taken some of my best performing thumbnail templates. I stripped them down into PowerPoint. You don't have to buy Photoshop, which is like $49 a month, I think now. Put them into PowerPoint, or OpenOffice works as well, which is free. Modify the text in here, export as a JPEG file, bam, done. Okay, you've got your thumbnails and you've got your video titles and your descriptions. You've optimized that video. On to the next part, which is creating content. And if you are wondering about, what kind of content should I create, what type is best, how do I even create a damn video, remember, I mentioned earlier that it's really all about the video script, right? It's not about how fancy pants your video is. It's the word you use, the words, how you say them, and the words that appear on the screen. And if you're wondering what you should say in these video scripts, those of you who are over the age of 30, you might remember Mad Libs. I remember, having fond memories with my brother in the back of the station wagon, driving to grandma's house on a Sunday morning, and my mom saying, don't bug your brother, and throwing a stack of Mad Libs books in the back seat. And that kept us busy for an hour at least, right? You fill in the blanks about, you choose the words based upon your business or words that relate to your product, and you can easily create a very convincing video script utilizing a series of templates I'm going to give you. These are very generic, work in a large variety of niches. And in addition to the templates for the video scripts, I'm going to give you these professionally designed animated slides, right? They work right in conjunction with the video scripts. And again, you fill in the blanks. I paid a designer a lot of money for these. They look amazing. And again, we know the best performing type of video are these animated style videos. This includes a ton of animated text and characters and that kind of stuff, and they work really, really well. So it's really easy to crank out these videos. As a testament to that, one of my top students, Rob, says that basically in 22 minutes, create the video, upload, and rank #1. He says in 5 days, my video went from 77 to #1. On the 2 #1 ranking videos, I even used his pre-made video templates. So it took me about 15 minutes to create the videos, 5 minutes to upload via Wirecast. It's actually less time now using my software. I'll show you in a second. And 2 minutes to post using it. I had to grade it out there. This is almost too easy. I mean, literally 15 minutes, you are good to go creating content. And if you don't want to create videos, or if you just do not want to get involved in this stuff, yes, you can easily outsource this stuff. I still use Fiverr.com all the time. For literally $10, you can get some really decent video content created. Give them all the scripts and give them the slides. You can fill them out if you want. They can do it for you. And then you've got, the skeleton of a good video, and they just put on the meat in terms of putting it together, adding an auto track, and that sort of thing. So again, and this is just the getting started phase to make sure we're really getting our feet wet and kind of hitting the pavement running, if you will, with some of the background stuff as it applies to getting content on YouTube, right? Also including my video launch formula, which it was the version 1 of the video launch formula. Version 2 of that, I'll show you in a second, is actually included in the core advanced V traffic machines training. So total value is about $2,073 with this so far. Also, a couple of fun modules. Module 7 is Project World Domination. If you really want to swallow your market whole, I'll show you how to do that. And number 8, if you're the kind of person who likes to, look over somebody's shoulder, are you more of a visual person where you want to see them doing something rather than reading a manual or, looking at a PDF? If so, I took about 30 minutes and I went through all the process of picking a niche, picking keywords, picking a product to promote, creating the video scripts, getting everything done, sending it to an outsourcer, finding an outsourcer on Fiverr, putting it all together, and ranking the video. So the whole process is really outlined in Module 8. I think you'll really find that helpful. It's almost like you're having a coffee with me at the office. I'm saying, okay, let's go through right from, step number 1 through the whole process, right? And if you're wondering if it'll work for you, I'm not sure what business you're in. This works for affiliates, coaches, consultants, info product owners, e-commerce, if you're doing Shopify, AliExpress, or Amazon people. I'm involved in all these businesses, except I do not have a coaching or consulting program at this point in time. Everything else, though, I've got covered, and I use these same strategies on Google and YouTube to get traffic. I've used YouTube videos to promote web hosting, diet products, CPA offers, online games, physical products, Amazon, software, lots of services, and much, much more. And it works in any language. And actually, a tip for you is that there's a lot of easy pickings when you go outside of English-speaking countries, mainly outside of the USA, which a lot of people focus on USA from a search engine optimization standpoint. I'm doing very well right now with the Spanish language, my videos in Spanish, targeting Latin America. And you can do the same with Italian, with French, with German. It really depends on your imagination. And you can get these videos converted into any language utilizing the power of Fiverr.com. Really easy to do and works for any type of business in any niche. If people are typing things into Google, if they have problems, they need solutions, if they have questions, they're looking for reviews, if they're looking for products, which covers almost any industry in the world, they can find you and your business and products on Google and YouTube, I'm telling you. And you don't need your own product. As I've shown you, a lot of the income I derive on Google and YouTube is through affiliate type of promotions where I'm not creating the product itself. So that was phase 1. So phase 2 is where we really kind of put the old gasoline on the campfire, right? We've gone through the basics, got your channel set up, got your playlists, even maybe got some content done. This is where things get really exciting. So the V Traffic Machines program, it's a 4-week program. And these videos are all done ready for you in the members area. And we drip them out over a 4-week period. So you don't get overwhelmed. So you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm jumping around back and forth. So week 1 is perhaps my most favorite module. And week 1 is all about reverse engineering and spying on your competition. I give you some really cool, free, wicked free spy tools just to find out what other people are doing, to reverse engineer what they're doing, and then to actually outrank them and do better than them. And again, all above board, nothing, that's going to make you feel slimy. It's all, 100% safe tactics. It's just utilizing free information and just being smarter and building a better mousetrap and outmarketing them. Week 2 is really taking the process I showed you today, the IRPH process, and really going into overdrive. It's all about hitting the pavement running, utilizing these instant ranking placeholders, and to really kind of dial that process in so we can create more of these things and do a lot more with them. Week 3 is video content creation and conversion hacks. Listen, creating videos is important, and the process and the scripting and the whole structure to get maximum conversion, right? But equally as important, if not most important, is actually conversion. When somebody watches your video, what happens next? What are they doing? Are they doing something? So it's really important to kind of have that conversion element peppered into your entire video. And we're going to talk about that in module 3 and how to do that. And week number 4 is how to launch, rank, get views, and get clicks, right? So you've got everything done. Keywords are done. Content's done. Now we got to launch this sucker and get ranked as high as possible, and get those views, get those clicks, and turn those clicks into downloads, into orders, buyers, into membership signups, whatever it is you want to do on the other end. We want to get that happening within module 4. And one of the biggest questions I get from people is that, how do you rank? How do you get views? How do you turn those views in the video to clicks and sales? And that's all covered in module 4. Specifically, my Leapfrog launch hack, which is a very, very powerful 4-step formula that gets your video from 0, really springboards onto page 1 very easily. And again, it's all safe tactics. We're not doing anything short term that's going to jeopardize your channel, all extremely long lasting. A couple examples here of the Leapfrog launch in action. Went from 0 to like boom, as you see here, boom, up to number 1, took about a week. On the right side, took about 4 days, same thing. And literally the results happen in 2 to 6 days, I find, with this. The last part of eTraffic Machines is really where we get down and dirty into some of the heavy advanced tactics. There's 2 modules, bonus modules, called the Advanced YouTube and Google Traffic and Rank Hack. This is my best stuff here, my most powerful tactics. It was 1 module, and I ended up actually having so many videos, I converted into 2 modules with a bonus webinar. This is the stuff. This is the secret sauce. These are all the tactics that you won't find anywhere else. No one's talking about this stuff. It's the stuff that I'm using today that works extremely well. And once you follow these formulas, you will get fast results on Google and YouTube. I know you will. My students are doing it. It's all in these traffic and rank hacks. Okay, very, very powerful advanced stuff. If I gave this to you today, many of you might get lost not having some of the background knowledge, right? It is advanced stuff. I kid you not. Another instant force rank boost, 55, bam, to number 1. So just to kind of summarize here and wrap it all up, a lot of stuff here. The VTraffic Machines workshop added in, we're looking at over $3,000 in value. And the last 2 things I want to talk to you about real quick is, we talked about the most time-consuming yet critical pieces to your success on Google and YouTube, and that's 1, research and picking the right keywords, right? And 2, utilizing the IRPH method to create multiple YouTube live events. We did it manually. It took a few minutes. Who wants to automate that process and save you, 90,000 clicks of a mouse button or whatever? What I created is something, I'm really proud of this thing. Literally has taken me, well over $11,000 to put this thing together. I'm not just pulling the number out of the sky. This is from my VWorker account, which has all my developers in it, so I pay them. And what the vTargeter software does is real simple. 3 things. 1, remember the manual process I showed you? Gulf swing space A, space B, space C. Forget that. It grabs all the top keywords, lets you sort the number 1, number 2, number 3 keywords, and literally you can find hundreds of keywords and sort them very, very easily. This will save you hours of time right there, okay? Number 2, we want to find the heat. Where are the easy rank opportunities? So what I did is I basically took my own internal kind of algorithm, and I used 13 points of data to analyze all these points, and then on the left side, I give you a rating from 1 to 20. The lower the number, the easier it is to rank on YouTube. So you see here the 1s and the 3s in green. That means that if you're doing any kind of videos about golf swing drills at home, golf swing analysis, Tiger Woods, golf swing X Factor, those are the keywords you want to most likely focus on, because you'll get the easiest chance of getting ranked on page 1. Does that make sense? Easy rank keywords, right? Now, The next thing we do is automate the RPH tests. We got a bunch of keywords, and you want to kind of create these RPH tests without manually scheduling live events like I showed you. So what you do here is you grab those keywords into the software. You can set up your video location, all those things, and it's a template-based system. So what it does, it just automatically creates and schedules those live events for you. So how cool is that, right? It saves a lot of time. You click on one button, and as you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it created 5 live events, each of them optimized around a different keyword. And this can be done within seconds, not minutes. I'm talking just literally seconds. And once you find that, let's say a couple of live events are ranking, then forget about using Wirecast or using that complicated software. You literally, within the same software, you check on the checkboxes there for the keyword live events that are ranking. You click on the stream video button, you find your video, and literally you click on about 3 mouse clicks and you are done. And you're streaming that video to YouTube. And then when that's done, your live event placeholder you see here gets replaced with your video. So when you go and type California Bear coffee mug, they're not going to see the live event placeholder. They're going to see your 55-second video, right? So pretty cool stuff, right? I mean, I've really tried to eliminate any amount of work or any amount of, manual labor involved or figuring out complicated software. It's all self-contained in this vTargeter Pro software. I mean, it makes it really easy to do this stuff, right? Just a couple of quick other examples. 100 number 1. My fellow vTraffic Machines member here, Jeff, is actually ranking for a key phrase that gets 1 million searches a month. So yes, getting easy keywords to rank is easy, but obviously we can tackle some very competitive territory here utilizing the vTraffic Machine system, especially 700,000 videos as the competition. And also the results can come fast. You see here in 24 hours, just a bunch of videos ranking within a 24-hour period. But listen though, I mean, I could talk about success stories all day long. I could show you, more testimonials and more testimonials, but here's the way it is. I mean, people in life can have one or two things, right? Money or excuses. And right now you have 2 options. You can sign up with the vTraffic Machines, get involved, take advantage of this window of opportunity on YouTube before the rest of these small businesses figure out. We can get you ranked, get you traffic, and get you clicks. Or you can justify you don't have time right now, you can't afford it. There's other stuff going on, you got other distractions, and whatever your excuse today is, that's fine. But you must decide today whether you want money or excuses, because you really can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too, right? And since I like to reward action takers and people who seize opportunities, who get the stuff and jump on them without waiting 4, 6, or 5 months or years, my question to you is, are you an action taker? And I hope so. And if you are, I want to reward you with a couple things here I think you're going to like. Before I give you a link on how to get involved with the vTraffic Machines, there's a couple bonuses I want to bring to your attention. Number 1, for the first 10 people that sign up on this webinar, we're going to do a 30-minute strategy call, just you and me on the phone, actually on Skype, not the phone, and just hammer out where you're at, where you want to go, and really put a solid plan into place. These calls are always very, very effective at getting people on the right path to getting results as quickly as possible on Google and YouTube. And again, it's a one-on-one Skype call for the first 10. Number 2 is the Traffic and Rank Hacks bonus. I mentioned earlier, and this is my most advanced training. This stuff is really, really powerful. If you're among the first 25, I will give you access to those 2 training modules, okay? So just to I'm going to go through this. There's a lot of stuff here. With all the bonus strategy call and the Traffic and Rank Hacks module, we're looking at $4,367 here. I'm planning on launching this in a couple of months. Most products today you've probably seen are like $19.97 or $14.97. It's kind of the new $19.97, right? Well, do you want to save like $1,000 right off the top? Bit of a catch here. Don't get worried. There's nothing that's going to require more than 5 minutes of your time. Place your order, go through the entire course and apply what I teach. I really, really need your testimonials and your case studies. And if you're willing to kind of just give me a handshake, yes, I will give you a testimonial feedback or share results with me. Take $1,000 off there. I really want to kind of hit the pavement running and get these testimonials and get these case studies locked and loaded. And if you're willing to kind of meet me halfway, then we'll take $1,000 off right now. But I'm going to actually go even further. When I talked to Allyn a few weeks ago, and again, Allyn's one of the first guys I met online back at the big seminar in 2015. And he said, Jason, you know what? Listen, man, a lot of the stuff we sell is like a few $100. Can we shave off even more and just really kind of just bring it down even further to make it affordable for more people? And I said, you know what the hell? Let's have some fun and do this. So what we ended up doing is actually we modified the cart where it's actually $697 today. So you're taking an additional $300 off that $997. And if you go to vtargeter.com/Allyn, that's Allyn, that's the only way you can get this deal, people. I mean, if you go to vtargeter.com, there's a waiting list. I rarely ever open the doors to this program. I like to keep it sort of very, very contained to a good group of people so I can work with them rather than have everyday people joining the program. And the only way to get this deal at $697 is vtargeter.com/Allyn, Allyn. That's a bit of a back door. There is a 3-pay program, if that makes sense for you. Again, same page, vtargeter.com/Allyn, Allyn. It's 3 easy payments. That makes more sense for you. And once you hit that order button on the page there, you'll be taking a Deal Guardian. Ignore this screenshot. This is obviously old. It's not $997. Again, I've readjusted that price in the cart, so you should see $697. Fill in your information. Click on the next button there. Just a quick little note here. Over the past couple of days, there's been some weirdness with PayPal transactions. So if by chance you pay with PayPal, that's totally fine. But if you do not get an automated welcome email in about 10 minutes, please get in touch with our help desk and we'll get you set up immediately. I'll give you the help desk email later on in the Q&A. And then once you sign up, you're going to get a couple of emails from us. One on the right is instant access to the 9 getting started modules. And then on the left side, of course, the vTraffic machine training, which starts today. You'll get access to week 1. And then, of course, the sizzling video slides and scripts, all that's available today. There's a lot of stuff that you get available today. Before we get into the Q&A here, I feel I have to mention sort of the guarantee. Most of you by now are probably used to seeing the standard guarantee, which is the 30-day guarantee, right? You must be totally thrilled, of course, within 30 days. If not, for any reason at all, you'll get all your money back and no questions asked. Guarantee number 2 is where the rubber hits the road. After 30 days, when a lot of folks sometimes unfortunately ignore you or they don't want to hear from you, if you need help, if something's not clicking, I will get with you and fix what's broken, offer ideas, feedback, or whatever. I'm always in the help desk. I'm not one of these guys that hides away and goes into phantom mode after 30 days. Because again, I really want to make sure you're succeeding with the program, because the more success you have, the better chance I have at getting more of those testimonials and success stories, right? Which I really want to have before I kind of launch this thing in a few months' time. So, and the price will be going up. I guarantee you that. vtargeter.com/Allyn is the only way to get access to this. That's the back door we've opened up. And first 10 get the one-on-one strategy call. First 25 get the traffic and ranks hacks module, as I mentioned to you. I know this will sell out fast. We got an active crowd here on this web class. And avoid missing out. If this makes sense and you want to do this, go ahead and act now, because when this replay is available, most likely bonus number 2 will be gone, and I'm going to guarantee you bonus number 1 will be gone after we hang up this webinar. So everything is there. I'm not going to go over it again. You've already kind of seen this a few times. $697 to get that PDF. I really appreciate you folks who've been hanging around here. We've gone over time, which I apologize. That PDF is available on the same page as the order page. It's vtargeter.com/Allyn, Allyn. Scroll way to the bottom of the page, and at the bottom you'll see a little PDF link, like a little thumbnail of a PDF document. Click on that, and if you sign up with vTraffic Machines, that's great. I still want you to download this PDF because it does give you a great list of buyer keywords. Also, it gives you a little bit more content than we talked about here during the web class. All right. Real quick, after 4 weeks, what happens? Again, as I told you, I'm in your corner. You can contact me if something's not clicking, you need help. But also, I will send you an invitation to our private Facebook group. So once you go through the 4-week training, you're off your training wheels. You're like Lance Armstrong speeding on the race bike now. You've got this stuff. Then we'll invite you to the advanced level work group, actually, in the private Facebook group. I'm posting articles in there, answering questions. People are asking questions. It's a great group, and you'll get that invite after 4 weeks. There's no charge for that. There's no upsells. I mean, there's no upsells at all with this product, but there's no hidden, recurring fees for the Facebook group or even the product in general. I mean, what you see is what you get, folks. $697 gets you in the door. Nothing else to buy from me. I wish there was, but that's it. That's all I got. It's all on the table. And vtargeter.com/Allyn, Allyn, is the only way to get inside, and I hope you do. So I've got some time for Q&A here, Alan. If you have some time, we can dive in and hammer through some questions for those folks that are sticking around. I'll give Alan a second to enable his microphone, probably. If he's anything like me, it's on mute. Or
yeah, you're right, it was. I said, could you hear me? You didn't answer me. So, so you can hear me now, right?
Yeah, loud and clear, loud and clear.
Yeah, guys, this is, I mean, Jason is the king of free traffic, and he's been doing this a very, very long time. This is the newest thing. You've got to get this. If you sell on anything online, uh, anything, whether you're just an affiliate marketer, you have your local business, and you have your. I mean, think about if you're a local business, how easily you could command whatever it is in your own backyard, right? Whether you're a landscaper, a roofer, a jewelry shop, whatever that is, you could you could dominate it, right? So it's something you definitely want to get. Jason is definitely a man of his word. He'll be there behind you to help you out and get you through it. You'll have to do the work on it, but it's going to work for you. So I would strongly suggest, for the $697 that you get it. And I think you mentioned something about a 3-pay program as well. So
yeah,
grab it. If you have questions, pop them in here, and Jason will stay around. Saw my places and said, yeah, this makes a manageable business that I can scale. Absolutely, Michael. You can easily scale this. I mean, think about it. If you're a local marketer, what you'd be able to do for other people, right? You'd be able to help them out a lot, knowing how to do it. So let's see, what else do you have? Do you recommend, I saw something for Kyle, do you recommend searching incognito window or logging out of your YouTube account when you're doing searches and stuff?
Perfect timing. As you were reading that question, I just kind of slid into the live browser in incognito mode, and I'm logged out of my Google account, as you can see. I just want to kind of check some of the rankings here, and I always kind of like hold my breath and grit my teeth when I do this because I never know how it's going to go. I'm not Google. I can't determine every time that every keyword will rank here. So let's just see how we did. So again, we're in incognito mode, which you can see the little spy image here in the upper right hand corner. Let me just blow this up here so we can kind of see this on the small mobile screen. So 41,900 results, a decent amount of competition. We're ranked number 3 here with our live ranking placeholder. You can see here, so that's exciting. The second one here, I'm pleased to announce we are also ranked 372,000 competing results. The cool thing is, you notice here, we're automatically leapfrogging above this video here, you see? And this video was uploaded not too long ago, a couple months ago, April 1st, 2017. And like, boom, because the power of live ranking, right? We're automatically just leapfrogging right over that video. And as you can see here on the video tab, there are a lot of videos here. There's a lot of videos here that are uploaded already to Google. So it's not like there's only like one video. There's a lot of competing videos here. They're all going for Alford water damage or Alford, water restoration, all those keywords. And automatically, again, just like I said before, Google's search engine algorithm goes bonkers and haywire with this live YouTube live event stuff, right? It's awesome. Zephyr Hills, we're right under the 3-pack, which is like, this is the coveted 3-pack, which a lot of local businesses want to get this year. But my viewpoint is, when I scroll down here, where does the eye get drawn to? The eye candy is right here, right? The eye candy is that thumbnail. And if you do a great job with your thumbnail image, it just draws that eye. Why? Because that play button, we all get drawn to that play button. We're trained to click on that little sideways triangle, which is the play button, right? And if you have a good thumbnail image, that's why you get a lot of click-through rate on your actual videos there. I mean, this rarely happens. I mean, we've ranked 4 out of 4 here. I'm not going to suggest that your results will be 4 out of 4 all the time. They'll probably be much less, but and we're above the 3-pack. That's kind of cool, right? So again, here's the coveted 3-pack. Bam, we're right here at number 2, right above that, right above everything else, sitting above all these sites here trying to rank for the same keyword. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed that we actually did this well. But again, like I said earlier, folks, it's all about just using keywords and utilizing the RPH method. And if you test 3 keywords, you may be disappointed. If you test 9, 10, 20 keywords, I mean, that's when really things become exciting, right? And if you can test even more keywords utilizing my software, and that's when you cover a lot of territory. You get a lot of these page 1 rankings that will bring you that recurring traffic, right? We talked about people searching and finding this video daily, weekly, monthly, and then finding your website, clicking on your links, and that traffic happening automatically without you having to pay any money or going back to the video and having to change it every month. That's the beauty of this system. It's just really, truly set it up, leave it alone, just go create more content, and those rankings are consistent, and they bring in traffic, views, and sales and opt-ins on a consistent monthly basis, right?
Yeah, this is really cool. I do have a question, and maybe we have a few local marketers, right, on our that are members. How as a local marketer, they if they went in and got a lot of these ranked, right? They said
Yeah.
I'm going to do this my local in my own backyard for, in my case, Allentown, Pennsylvania, and you get a bunch of them on jewelry or landscapers or whatever, and then you go to the landscaper and say, look, I've got all these things ranked. You want to buy them? You want the traffic from them?
Um,
Viable?
no, what you've hit on there is extremely powerful system. I'll give you a real quick true story. So we're actually in July now. So going back last month, a buddy of mine held an event down in San Diego, and I couldn't make it down at other scheduling conflicts. And he said, "Hey, can I take, like, very similar to the class you saw today? Can I take this and present the RPH system to our people? These are basically mainly people involved in e-commerce." I said sure. So I gave him the web class, and I revised it a bit. And he called me up afterwards and said, "Jason, I got to tell you, man." He goes, "There was a guy in the audience, and he said to me." During the presentation, he said, "Hey, I'm already ranking for stuff. This is unbelievable." And everyone's like, "Wow, holy crap, can't believe it." Well, he basically followed up a few days later and said that he ranked for a couple of lawyer terms. I can't remember, it might have been like Orange County lawyer or something like that. I forget the exact keyword. Well, he basically called up a law firm and said, "Hey, look, go to your browser now and type in, let's say, Orange County lawyer. You see that little video thumbnail there? Well, how would you guys like to have your video there? I want to get you page one rankings for Orange County lawyer, and a whole bunch of other terms." They signed a $5,000 deal with him on the spot. And if the numbers are correct, they're paying him $1,000 a month just for maintenance and other kinds of work to maintain those rankings. So he was just, fell off his chair how excited he was. I mean, that's probably the most extreme example I've heard of somebody utilizing the system and doing that. But obviously, when you could do that all day long by walking in and saying, "Hey, you know what? I've got a few instant ranking placeholders here. I'd love to have your business be ranked on page one for whatever, Orange County landscaper, Orange County lawyer." And if they say no, you say to them, "Well, that's fine. I'm sorry to hear that. Just so you know, I'm continuing my way on the list to the number 2 landscaper in Orange County."
You were my first call. I'm going on to my second call.
I mean, come on, who would say no? You'd be like, "Well, I don't want that 2-bit loser at Acon's Landscaping getting the page one rankings. No, okay, let's ink a deal right now. We're done. Let's lock it in." And basically that's it.
I think it's so cool that you can rank them in advance, so you'll know what's there, and then you can do it. Because in the old days, we would sell, "Hey, we can get you on, page 2 or whatever." Then we had to go do it, right? They pay us, then we had to go do it. Here you can kind of do it in advance, see what ranks, and then call them up and say, "I've got a spot with your name on it. It's just sitting here waiting for you to put your name on it, for you to ink the deal with me, and I can put your name right on it. It's already here."
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I hear more and more people doing that, and I mean, because there's so much opportunity, because obviously it's not easy to get a web page or a blog or a website ranked on page one of Google in like 5 minutes. It is way easier, as you've seen, to rank for those local terms for small businesses with the RPH placeholders. And then, once you get the deal, then you can go, "Okay, well, now let's create the video. Oh, it's going to be another $1,000 to create the video. We have to customize it with your business name." And before you know it, maybe you're into a several $1,000 sale, and that's just for one customer with a handful of keywords, right? So it's exciting.
Yeah. We got a question here from Rod. He says, "Can you edit the description within the YouTube Creator Studio?"
Yeah, absolutely. You can change the description. You can change the title. Only thing you can't change, you can't go, once you have your video streamed, you can't go back and swap out the video or actually modify the video. You can remove parts of the video. You can actually edit the video and remove parts of it, but you can't go and swap out another video. But anything else, though, in terms of the link in the description, the title, even the call outs, the actual YouTube cards or the links you have in the video, all that can be changed after the fact. No problem at all.
That's cool. That's really cool. All right, guys, this is something you really need to take advantage of. It's a very, very fair price, I believe, for all the software and all the training and everything you're going to get. And then, if $697 is a little steep for you, then he's also got the 3-pay option as well. So I can't say anything else other than I would strongly recommend anybody who's doing anything online, whether it's affiliate marketing, local, you're a local business and you need some help selling your own stuff. I could go on and on and on. I mean, even if I worked for a car dealership as a salesperson for a car dealer, I could see how I could use this to drive more business to me. as an independent rep selling cars, right? So you can think of a gazillion ways to be able to use the system to drive more traffic to your business, to your affiliate offer or whatever. I can't say enough about it. So take advantage of it. And if you got anything else, I don't. I just, when I saw you do this presentation before, the reason I came to you is that we got to do this. This is good stuff,
Yeah, well, I enjoy doing it because it's rare you can actually do web class and actually show real results live without just showing a bunch of static screenshots. And also,
in my emails, that's what I told them. I said, don't take my word for it. Come watch it live. That's the reason we had so many people show up and say, come watch it live. Because when I watched it live, I was going, holy crap, he's doing this. He's doing this without a net. Oh shit, this works.
I have to be honest, it did backfire. It did backfire a few months ago where I think we ranked 1 out of the 4 keywords, but we're on page 2 of Google. It was a competitive keyword, but to me, I'm on page 2. The only way is up. I mean, it's not difficult to get your stuff from page 2 on Google to page 1, and it's all covered in the V Traffic Machines course, obviously, especially in the traffic and rank hacks modules. But I mean, that's the first time I was like, oh damn. But you know what? I mean, hey, like I said, it can go either way. Sometimes we do 1, 2, 3, or 4 keywords, like in this case. Other times it's 1. I mean, it really does depend. But
like I said, when I saw you do the presentation, I saw you do it without a net. It's like, oh my God, I hope this works out, man. It's kind of scary if it doesn't. But it worked out. I don't think you got all 4 of them that time either, but you got, it was enough to sell me on. It's like, okay, this works, especially if I can speed it up with your software. Not that it doesn't matter, that it doesn't matter as much. You can quickly do a bunch of them, right, and get them rolling.
No, absolutely. The thing that I mentioned too is that, I mean, as we get into more competitive territory, let's be honest. If you're trying to pick like the 900-pound gorilla keyword in your niche or in your sector, and you're trying to rank for that overnight, just very slim chance you're going to be on page 1 for mega competitive keywords. However, I'll tell you what though, many times. I'm sunk on page 4 of YouTube, and I'm like, oh, damn, okay. Utilizing especially the forced rank hacks I'll show you, I can get myself to bubble up to page 1. It may take a week or 2 weeks, but it'll bubble up to page 1. Google takes a bit longer. It does happen, though. It may take you a few weeks or a few months. Again, very competitive. But as you saw that one screenshot I showed from Jeff, he's ranking for a keyword that has 1 million searches per month. It means 1 million people are searching that particular key phrase in Google on a monthly basis, and he's ranking page 1. So I mean, it can happen. So I mean,
I'm curious, and this is just for shits and giggles because I know you a little bit. Have you ever tried, or have you tried yet, melotheliomia or whatever it is, that the big lawyer term that we always try to?
I mean, maybe I should for just they said for fun, but I haven't because I'm just so.
I mean, that's got to be one of the hardest out there to go for, from the legal standpoint. We used to always try to control that and sell it to the attorneys.
I almost get scared even saying it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're just asking for a little bit of trouble there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a very high risk, I think, kind of keyword for various reasons. But I mean, I have done webinars where I rank for truck like truck accidents, sort of keywords, anything to do with 18-wheeler accidents or 18-wheeler or truck accidents, that kind of stuff. And again, those are all legal terms, right? And I've done some pretty cool things there as well. And like I said, with that live event last month, a fellow did actually sell a package to a lawyer. I mean, and the good thing is, I mean, the one thing I say is don't sell to pizza shops because they're making
their margins. They don't have any margins.
I mean, at least lawyers, that the lifetime value of a customer and the transaction value is thousands of dollars. So if you walk in there and say, hey, it costs you $5,000, they're like, hey man, that's like 1 client, maybe 2 clients, done. So piece of cake, here you go. Here's a check. Versus him and Han and having to arm wrestle you on price.
You're talking about attorneys, dentists, chiropractors.
Yeah, for sure.
Go down on the list, right?
Yeah, I've done some work in the chiropractic and the dental niche, and it's just an easier conversation when that even you're not getting your teeth drilled one time and then never coming back ever again. You're getting cleanings every 6 to 12 months. You're coming back for all kinds of different work. Your kids come into there. So like they're making thousands of dollars off you over, a 10-year period. So for them to spend a few $1,000s up front, not a big deal at all. It's a drop in the bucket, right? Yep.
All right. Well, that's all I have. That was my wife ringing me a while ago, so I'll have to call her back. But I really appreciate it. I thank you for the presentation, and again for doing it without a net. You don't see that happen very often,
You're welcome. It's always fun.
All right, guys. So take advantage of it, grab it. Um, I mean, I can't say anything else. So thanks so much. And that's all I have.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I mean, and whether you join or not, the only thing I always leave is saying that just be a person of action. I've given you a golden formula here. I've proven it works. I've already talked about that guy at the seminar last month who made 5 grand out of the gate. Just do yourself a favor and put the wheels in motion. Hopefully, if things work out for you at some point, we'll be friends and you'll be part of the program. But whether you join the program or not, just do something with the information because I guarantee you it will work. It's just you've got to put the time in to actually work on the process and making it work. So that's kind of that's my soapbox speech for the close.
There you go. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Allyn.
Thanks.
All right.